Hello, good evening. It's Monday evening right now, and I think it's about 8 plus. I am on my way home from Bukit Merah to Jurong East, riding my bike back because I'm planning to do the Jurong East zone this week. So that's what I'm gonna do right now. So I thought, why not do a little Q&A while I'm on my ride back. I think it'll be fun. And since I don't have any Q&A, I've gathered some Q&A that you guys have asked me from my videos and compiled it to about 10 questions. And hopefully I can answer them for you in this video while you watch me ride back to Jurong East. Alright, so if you're up for it, continue to watch this video. If not, well, you can stop it right now. Okay, so I've got my questions, 10 questions, let's see, written down so I don't forget them. Alright, so question number 1. What platform is the best? So platform meaning, which is the best? Foodpanda, Deliveroo, or Grab. I mean, this is in a Singapore context, and there'll be other platforms available in other countries. So in Singapore, the 3 main food delivery platforms are Foodpanda, Grab, and Deliveroo. Alright, so just for full disclosure, I've delivered about close to 650 deliveries for Foodpanda so far. For Deliveroo, a little more than 150. But for Grab, I've only done about 19 deliveries. So what I can offer as an opinion on which platform is the best is mainly for Foodpanda and Deliveroo, between Foodpanda and Deliveroo. So let me just break it down, because best is really subjective, depends on the context. So let's start with pay. Alright, I would say earnings, or the rate. So for rates, we'll talk about pay per hour. So comparing Foodpanda and Deliveroo, so pay per hour for delivery is slightly better if you do not consider the quests that Foodpanda provides within a month. So quest incentives would be things like, in addition to your regular fees and surges, they also have a delivery number incentive. So for example, if within a week you do above 35 orders delivery, they would give you $25, and that is the amount for a cyclist, whether it's a normal bike or a PAB. Alright, but for Deliveroo, they do not really have such incentives. So if you have a high delivery count every week, I would say Foodpanda is a better platform for you. And I think overall, if you are doing full time, Foodpanda has a better rate. There are some pros and cons riding for Foodpanda that is non-monetary. The pros and cons of Foodpanda are, first, you have to book shifts. Alright, so if you are not able to complete your shift, and here in Singapore it's really easy because of the weather. So in unpredictable weather, say if you book from 11 to 2 p.m., 11 a.m. to 2 p.m., and it starts to rain and it starts to rain heavily at maybe 1 p.m. You can't just stop and well, you can stop, you can request for break, but you'll get penalized. So then this will reduce your chance of getting the incentive, because like I mentioned, the delivery count incentive has certain criteria, such as acceptance rate and actual versus planned time. Actual versus planned is if you book 2 hours of shift, you have to complete 2 hours of shift. If you request for break, it means that you have not completed 100% of that. So there's a minimum required percentage, right? So sometimes you end up not having the incentive. But for Deliveroo, you have full flexibility. You can just turn it on and say, okay, I want to start delivering. And if it rains, take the same example, you want to work from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. and it rains at 1 p.m. You can reassign your existing order, or just go offline and wait for the rain to stop, then go online again. So I like this flexibility that Deliveroo offers. Sometimes when I think about, hey, Foodpanda is providing such high rates, but I don't get this option of that flexibility. And since it's raining so unpredictably these days, especially in the month of April, makes sense to just go Deliveroo. Alright? But I would say on average, the pay per hour, it averages out to be about $15 to $16 an hour. So, well, then you can decide for yourself. So now we're on to the second question, is what bike do I ride? Okay. So I ride an Eco Drive 2.0. It is a 48 volt 250 watt brushless motor. I think if I'm wrong about that, I'll correct it in the edit. And the battery is 10.5 Ah. This bike, the one I'm riding now, I really like it, even though it has some quirks. I'm actually planning to do a video on the bike, but I have yet to do it. Basically, I like this bike. It runs okay, it runs smoothly. I have not tried any other e-bike prior to getting this one, so in a way I don't know what I don't know. But I figured, since this is the model that most delivery riders I see riding, so it has to count for something. So that's why I just chose it. And it has 20-inch wheels, which I like because I don't really like to cycle in smaller wheels. I find it hard to steer in smaller wheels. I have ridden about close to 2,000 kilometers as of now, as of the time of this recording. Right this very moment, it's actually 1994 kilometers. So it's pretty decent mileage, I would say. Alright, I'm not sure what the third question is, but let me just make one up. What do I like? What do I love about food delivery riding? First, it is cycling, right? So you have to, as a food delivery rider riding a bicycle, you definitely have to love cycling, more than some other things in your life. Because you're gonna dedicate, if you look at what I'm riding on this e-bike alone, it's about close to 2,000 kilometers. And so it's, you just gotta love it. And what better way to cycle and still get paid for it, right? So that's one thing that I love. And second thing, I'm not too sure if fellow food delivery riders will agree with me. That is the gamification aspect. So it's the gamification aspect of food delivery riding. When you complete a quest, or even just a regular delivery, when you complete it, it has this sense of, it gives this sense of satisfaction that, oh, I completed this and I got paid. It's like a game in a way, and it makes you just want to have that next hit of dopamine, that next delivery, that next notification that you earn, $9, or sometimes if it's double digit like 10 and 11, you get that kick. Yeah, so things like that, it gives that excitement. So you have to love gaming and in order to appreciate this. Alright, so and if you ask me what do I hate about delivery riding, first definitely is unpredictable weather. So I really hate to deliver in the rain. It's really messy. First maybe the customer's food will get wet because if there's no shelter from the bike to the customer's location, then it might get wet and it's just messy. And when it rains, the roads get slippery. There are a lot of hazards on the road, like painted road signs that really just slippery. And sometimes even on the PCN, there are the drains. The drains are slippery. The PCN walkways, if they are made of bricks or cobblestones, like past driveways into condominiums, you could just have a fall with that. So that's what I hate, is the rain. Right? And second thing that I do not like, I wouldn't say I hate, but it's an inconvenience. It's to deliver groceries. Right? And what I hate about groceries are eggs and heavy drinks. And those are exactly what people order when they order from Panda Mart and even Giant and Cold Storage. So that's what they order because you don't want to be carrying that home, so you just do a delivery, right? It makes sense. But for an e-bike rider, the weight is too much, and I think realistically, for safety, I cannot carry more than say 1.5 liter bottles at a time. So it's going to be really bad. So when it comes to Panda Mart, when I used to deliver with Food Panda, I could be delivering a 6-pack plus 1.5 liter bottles, and it's really dangerous because I could feel my thermal bag just slant to one side, and that's really messy. So yep, so those are pretty much what are the two things that I hate about delivery riding. So the next question is getting an e-bike worth it compared to a manual bike? And I get this quite often, this question, because first it is actually an investment to get an e-bike. It's quite expensive. I got my bike for about $1,500, so there's a capital expenditure right there. So when people are wondering, might as well I use the bike that I already have. But having done both, I would say it is worth it to get an e-bike. If you're serious about doing food delivery, get an e-bike. Right, first, you'll reach your destinations faster and less tiring. And it's less tiring to do so. You can go for longer hours during the day. and it's good for your heart. Long story short, get an e-bike if you're serious about food delivery. Alright, next question. Okay, what is your best experience so far? Okay, my best experience in these months that I think I've ridden from August of last year, so it's about maybe almost 6 months, more than 6 months I guess. The best experience was doing the Chinese New Year day 2 quest with Food Panda. So for Chinese New Year, there's additional incentive to deliver on those days, and I didn't do the Chinese New Year day 1 incentive, but I did day 2, and on that day I got my highest earnings for the day, my highest daily earning. It amounted to about $230 for the day, with a total of 26 deliveries. And I think that was the day that I delivered the most number of deliveries in a day. So that felt pretty good. I would say that's my best experience. You know, meeting that quest. It felt like a win. You know. So yep, that's the best. And the worst. Okay, there's definitely that one day that was my worst day, and it involved rain. And that day was it's not Chinese New Year. The day was New Year's Eve. It was December 31st. And you know, halfway during my delivery, it started to rain really heavily. But because I was with Food Panda, I couldn't just stop my shift. So I just continued. And on my last delivery, because of the rain, I think there was some liquid that got into my phone or something. My phone just decided to stop working. And that was when I realized that there's no solution. You know, if your phone breaks while on shift, there's really no way to find out what the address of your customer at all. So just imagine this. So I picked up the order that day, and I was on my way to the customer's location, and suddenly my phone stopped working. So I had no idea how to get to the customer. All I knew was it was, you know, one of the condominiums. But first, it was a condominium that I've not been to before. So I had trouble finding it. And secondly, I don't remember what unit that the customer was at. So I was totally lost. I didn't think there wasn't anything that I could have done. You know, I tried to find the Food Panda hotline or something like that. I even asked the security guard to help me. You know, I had the customer's name, and that's it. And you know, the customer and Food Panda also had no way of contacting me. So imagine how lost I felt and helpless. And I felt so bad. The food was delayed for like 2 hours. And finally, after exhausting all possible solutions, or after realizing that there's no solution, I had to just go back with the food, and I threw it away. And when I reached home, I just emailed Food Panda and told them what happened. And well, all they did was, you know, say, okay, thank you for telling us this, you know, and that's it. So, and I'm assuming that the customer would have got their refund, because I guess they were just wondering why this delivery rider just didn't deliver the food, right? Which made me feel really bad because there was no way I could explain it to them. You know, I was right there at the condo, but I wasn't able to get to them. It felt horrible. Yeah, so that was one of the, I would say, the most horrible experience that I had. And because of that, on New Year's Day, I went to get myself a spare phone. So I carry 2 phones along with me every day now, just in case something like this happens. There's one last question. Alright, so what is the startup cost to become a food delivery rider? In summary, I would say if you already have a bicycle, a manual one or an e-bike, your startup cost would just be less than $100. Less than $100 because you have to get the kit. You have to get the rider kit. Right, and it varies, but it's definitely less than $100 for any platform. For Deliveroo, it's a 50% off, so it's $50 for quite a bit of things, quite a number of things. The thermal bag, a raincoat, 2 t-shirts, and a helmet, a waterproof mobile phone holder, and I don't remember what the other thing is, but it is definitely the most complete kit compared to all of the 3. And for Grab, I think it's about $70 plus, $72, I think. With a thermal bag, 2 shirts. Deliveroo is the only one that has a helmet, that comes with a helmet. For Food Panda, I think it was about 60 plus. 60 plus or 50 plus. There are some discounts for the basic cyclist kit. Yeah, so yep, that's it. That's the startup cost. But if you do not have a bicycle, I would say a decent bicycle, be prepared to pay, say, from $500 to $700. I think that would be a decent bike for a manual bike. And for an e-bike, it could be from 800 to 1,000 plus. I think that would be decent enough. I don't think you need to spend more than 1,600 maybe for an e-bike. If you want, you could get a second-hand one for less than 1,000. That would be the startup cost. Alright, I think that is all I have for my Q&A. Let me know in the comments if you have any of the questions answered, and like this video if you got value out of it, and subscribe if you would like to see more of such videos. And yeah, I'm pretty close to my destination now. I will sign off. Oh, to that question about getting an e-bike, I would also suggest that you get, when you earn enough money, I would suggest that you get an extra battery. You don't have to worry. You don't have to worry about running out of battery. You can always go back and change, switch out your battery. In the meantime, ride safe, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Alright, bye.